Wow. I want you to take a moment and think about that. What if an accident happened and that put you in a coma or it just took you out of the game completely? What would happen with your account and how would your loved ones be affected by that? Like, this is some heavy stuff to think about. If you're an options trader, you might be short positions. And if you're in a coma now, you can't manage those positions. They're at the mercy of the market. You might wake up 5 years from now, find out that those positions went against you. Maybe your broker was slow to liquidate you, and now you owe a lot of money to your brokerage. This is just something that people don't think about. So Don Geo left a comment on a video of mine, and it brought back some conversations that I had with Dave from the Hidden Freedom Investing channel and Jerry from the Retire with Less series about what would happen if we found ourselves in a coma and we weren't invested in the market because we were just selling puts on stocks, and we wake up 10 years from now and find out we missed out on all those gains and growth opportunities. I think this is just something that people don't think about because it's a hard topic to talk about. It's also very depressing to think about you being hurt in that kind of capacity, but you got to do it so that you can help the ones that you love, move on or carry the torch while you're on the sideline. So something I think that everyone should do now while they're able to is to create like a emergency binder that can be used if you're not around and have discussions with your spouse, your loved ones, or your trusted friends who be managing your assets to make sure they know where to find this binder so that they can carry out your wishes or so that they can have a guide on what they should do if they're not the most financially literate person. I know a lot of people here have talked about before that their spouse has zero interest in finance and they're worried about how they would do if the OP would be taken out of the equation. So in this binder, one of the first things I think you need to do is write like a goodbye letter, like a love letter, whatever you want to like call it. Like when they open up this safe, this should be the first time that they open it, and the first thing they're gonna see is this handwritten note by you, and you can reminisce about your favorite times with them. Like this would be the last thing potentially that they read from you, so put some thought into it. Uh, Something else you should include is maybe a note about what you would want to happen if you were on life support and were brain dead. You don't want your loved ones having to make that decision and carry the guilt of what decision they make there, or go through attorneys if people have differing opinions about what you would want. So make sure that you have something that states what you want in there, and then create like a little financial guidebook, I guess you would call it, that would have like all your accounts so that they know what you have out there. You can put in your login credentials if you want to, or at least some way that they can access them. Like if you're completely on the sidelines, they can use. You can have copies of vital documents like your driver's license or state issued IDs, social security cards, birth certificates, stuff that they'll need to help prove that they should have access to these accounts if you don't want to give them their username and password. But give them at least the item that they can go to the brokerage and get access to the account to manage it for you. Uh, Power of attorney letters, put that in there so that that'll make their job a lot easier. Remember, theoretically, they care about you, so they'll be pretty upset. And if you can make it a little easier on them, it's worth the extra effort. So something I'll do is I'll create like another document that will explain how to close all the positions in Interactive Brokers, because I do have a lot of options on at any given time, and I don't expect my mom to know how to manage those at all. But luckily, Interactive Brokers has a close all positions button. I can make a little video or a document that shows her how to get to there to close it. And I'll even like include notes that say, don't worry about any realized losses or anything like that. Like, it's just something you get to accept. And then maybe put instructions on how to put it into an income ETF, like maybe put it all into DVO or something like that, or whatever dividend fund you want to. Something else you should put in this binder would be like your insurance cards and medical information so that they have that easily accessible. So by now you're realizing that this binder is going to contain a lot of sensitive information, and you're going to want to keep it secure, because with all this information, an identity thief, if they got a hold of it, well, it'll be their wet dream. So we want to make sure that it's secure. Something I would suggest doing is getting a safe, preferably a fire safe or one that's fireproof, because if your house burnt down and all these documents were in there, you'd want them to still be there because like they're really important stuff. So I actually found this safe on Amazon. I'll put a link in the video description and a comment below if you want to get this one. I like this one particularly because it has the ability to use a code, but also you could use a key. So if you don't necessarily want to give someone access to this safe where they could steal your identity, maybe you have a conversation with them. If anything happens to me, grab my car keys. There's going to be this key. It'll open this safe, and that's going to have all the documents you need to manage my assets and where to go and get help. If you don't like the idea of using a actual physical binder, another thing you can do is digitize it and maybe put it on a USB drive. And if you're going to go that route, I'd say make at least 2 drives. You can have 2 in the safe in case one goes bad. There's a backup. And then anytime you do something digital, it's usually a good idea to store a copy of it off-site. And maybe you can have like a safety deposit box in a bank, and you can put one in there so that there's multiple copies in case one goes bad. So include contact numbers of people that you trust or support lines that they might have to access your accountant, your tax person, whatever, all that'll make their job easier. And I think if you're the one in control of your finances and your family, it's your responsibility to make sure that someone else can take over in the event that you're not there. So if your spouse is not financially literate, maybe you should start having some discussions now so that they can learn some basic finances, help them know when to spot a scam, because if you were to pass away, they become a prime target for people to try to scam and steal all their money. So talk to them about stuff like that. Make sure that they won't get scammed. Tell them to only talk to people that they initiate the call from, not someone that calls them directly, basic stuff like that. Because you don't want your hard-earned cash that you don't get to use anymore not be used by your family because someone else just came in and stole it. So just something else to think about. Have conversations, bring up their literacy a little bit. They don't have to be a financial guru in order to survive after the fact. And so this is obviously a hard topic to talk about, and I'm sure it's pretty hard for you to sit through and watch it this long. But I really do hope that this helps you moving forward and that you do feel inspired to take some steps to help your loved ones in case something was to happen to you. Make a plan, let them know where the plan is, that sort of stuff. If you have any other suggestions of what to keep in the binder or what other information might be useful that might help them, go ahead and leave a comment below. Let me know what I missed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.